Would you want a quarterback with decades of experience or who has studied the role for a few months? An experienced quarterback sounds like a much better coach than someone who doesn't know what it feels like to have MVP awards and accolades. Do you agree with this statement? Stick around to see how this fact leads us through Peyton Manning's wild coaching experience. Keep watching along closely. We've got everything you need to know coming right up. Firstly, why should anyone expect Peyton to be a coach in the first place? The answer is quite simple. People speculate that Peyton could be a fantastic NFL coach because of his achievements as a quarterback. In this case, what more do you expect from the Denver Broncos and Indianapolis Colts superstar? He not only made his teams proud, but also had a lot of success in his 18-year career in the NFL. He won 5 MVPs and many other incredible awards during his long career. You might think someone like him would be a great NFL coach, but I have some details that might change your mind. Manning has said that he does not think coaching is his position. Later in the video, we'll discuss how Peyton differentiates coaching football from playing football. So, has Peyton ever coached? The short answer is yes, but it may not be what you had in mind. Peyton Manning has recently been training with his young son Marshall on the football field. Marshall has just recently entered the 6th grade and is really starting to enjoy the game. Peyton took Marshall to the different NFL games to let him watch superstars play and train. He wanted his son to see in person how professional players have made it so far in football and what it takes to be a true professional, so that one day he could be the next football superstar like his dad. Manning is notoriously good at football and, specifically, at playing quarterback. Arch Manning, Marshall's uncle, was great, and so was his other uncle Eli. As a result, Peyton's son appears to be well ahead of the other kids his age on the field. Peyton training Marshall sounds like Iron Man training Spider-Man. Pretty soon, Peyton began to train not just Marshall, but his 6th grade teammates. As you can imagine, the teammates consider themselves incredibly privileged as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time coaches them. You can imagine the pride that comes with such an opportunity. At the beginning of everything, the team loved the Hall of Fame quarterback, but things didn't always stay positive for Peyton and the 6th grade football team. So, what was the outcome of Peyton coaching this team? Let's find out. Considering how exciting it would be to watch the little football team run rampant and beat everyone that stands in their way, since Peyton was one of the best quarterbacks to play the game, this 6th grade team should be able to win every game they play, right? But in contrast to what you might have expected, Marshall Manning's team lost every game. It wasn't even close. The winless season was highly demotivating for Peyton Manning and could be why we may never see him coach a team in the future. Maybe there is more to it. We're about to find out. Peyton Manning, in 2015, accepted the advice of his former Colts coach, Tony Dungy. He didn't play any match, but in that season of rest, something happened to Peyton, which he described in a podcast. He learned something new about himself. What did he learn? Peyton said, "I kind of learned what I did and don't want to do during that year, and I just found different things along the way that popped up because I didn't jump into something right away. Now, I get to do 2 shows with each of my brothers." So what does all of this mean for Peyton Manning? You'll be shocked to hear precisely why Peyton would prefer showing up for sports shows instead of being in the front football team. He said, "I didn't think I'd be a very good coach. I was good at calling plays when I was a quarterback. I'm not very good when other people are playing quarterback, hence my 6th grade offensive coordinator job so far. Every time Jim Sorge or Brock Osweiler went in, sometimes they let me call plays in the preseason, and I sucked at it. 3 and out everything single time. So I learned I didn't want to do that. It's not that he doesn't understand what he's supposed to be doing. Peyton is smart, he knows plays, it's that he doesn't enjoy it. It doesn't resonate deep within him as a competitor. He isn't good at it. You might even be better at him than coaching." So what impact has the 6th grade team had on Peyton? Judging from Peyton's statement in the podcast with Colin Cowherd, he says, "Coach, I'm the offensive coordinator on my son Marshall's 6th grade football team. So, is it possible that Manning would be a good coach in the NFL? Keep watching closely. We'll be telling you why or why not in just a moment." So here's what Peyton said on the podcast. "We got beaten overtime on Saturday. A couple of my players asked me why I ran the ball so much in the red zone. So I think coaching in my future is also out because hearing that from a couple of 6th graders is tough. Hearing that from a 32-year-old wide receiver or quarterback, 'Hey, I haven't gotten the ball, what are you doing?' I think that's out. So, it doesn't seem like he's just refusing to coach for a while, but might not be coaching both now and forever." Peyton has often implied that he does not care to be a coach. The Volume Sports retweeted the podcast with a video on Twitter that said, "If you're wondering why Peyton Manning isn't coaching, take it up with his son's 6th grade football team." The tweet ended with a laughing emoji. It deserves 2 laughing emojis. The Sporting News on Twitter also tweeted similar to what the Volume Sports Sports tweeted. It reads, "Peyton Manning got clowned by 6th graders, and that solidified his decision not to pursue a head coach career." And it sounds funny, they also added a laughing emoji. This slander means that all the while, Peyton knew he didn't have what it takes to be a coach, but was willing to take a chance with his son's team. His son's team, though, failed every match, but they did successfully help in kicking Peyton back into his consciousness. Imagine them with their child voice saying, "Mr. Peyton, we admire you as a good player, but you suck as a coach. Look for another career." They didn't say that, by the way, but you can induce that. From here, we can know for sure that the brain behind the failure of the 6th grade team is not the young player, nor is it the absence of a coach, but it's the presence of a bad coach. Next up, what did Manning take away from all this? Thank you to every one of the 6th grade football players who helped Peyton realize coaching might not be for him. He might still be trying to coach football teams without that season filled with losses. Now, to the real question. What reason did our champion, with so many accolades in the NFL, give as an excuse for not coaching at the pro level? It's because he's not passionate about it. He has said again and again he does not seem to have any interest in being coach. Don't expect him anytime soon as a football coach both here and hereafter. Lastly, do you think Manning would actually be a great coach in the NFL? Well, you'd think it'd be almost impossible for Manning not to be a great coach. He's widely recognized as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and he comes from a family of quarterbacks. Both his brother and father are quarterbacks, so of course he knows more than a thing or two about being a high-level quarterback. But the real question is, would he be patient enough? Unfortunately for many aspiring quarterbacks, that's the reason they won't be able to be coached by Peyton anytime soon. This confirms the observation by David Cutcliffe, who said that Peyton's impatience and frustration would make Peyton Manning struggle as a coach. However, patience and willingness to work through struggles are characteristics of a good coach. The tough part is that it's very difficult to work hard at something you are not passionate about, and Peyton doesn't have any desire to coach at the next level. Still, he has one of the best minds in football of all time. Do you think that he would make a good coach if he put his all into it and worked through the struggles? We might never know. And there you have it, everything you need to know about why Peyton Manning won't be coaching in the NFL anytime soon. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe. We wouldn't want you to miss out on any of our upcoming content.